a brief introduction, but if you would go ahead and let our audience know a little bit about your background and your work, we can get into it.
Okay. Well, I've worked on a number of different areas, including in environmental medicine, and got involved in how electromagnetic fields impact the cells of our bodies, and it's a really huge breakthrough. And so, I think probably what we should do is talk about how these electromagnetic field EMFs work and what the factors are that cause them, some of them to be more active and more dangerous than others.
Yeah, that sounds good. Before we go right into that, could you tell the audience, so when you're talking about this specific topic, would this involve cell phones, wireless, obviously, what does it all relate to?
Okay, well, yeah, all the wireless communication devices are relevant to this, and they all cause effects. And, we have what are supposed to be safety guidelines that are supposed to protect us, but in fact the safety guidelines we have in the U.S. and in Europe and in various other parts of the world are not really worth the paper they're written on. They don't really tell us anything about safety, and that's one of the great tragedies here.
Yeah, okay, well, so now we've cleared that up. Go ahead, I guess, then, and let's get further into the effects, how it works, and we can dive deeper into the whole topic.
Okay.
So, one question I have is, so are the dangers and the potential hazards from this type of technology, is it specifically related to the radiation, or is it the heating, or is it both? Could you talk more about that, where the danger comes from?
Sure, okay. Okay, so the safety guidelines only protect us from heating, but in fact, all of these things work in a different way. It's been known for well over 40 years that there are what are called non-thermal effects, that is, effects that occur at levels of exposure that are insufficient to produce any substantial heating. So we've known for a very long time that there are these non-thermal effects. We just didn't know how they worked. And so basically that's where I came into this thing. I discovered how they work, not based on my own experiments, but on things that had been published in the literature, which people really hadn't realized how important they were. So why don't we talk a little bit about how the system works. As I think probably your listeners know, each cell in the body has a membrane around it called the plasma membrane that separates that cell from everything else. And in the plasma membranes there are certain channels that are called voltage-gated calcium channels. And so those are the things that are actually activated by the EMFs. So basically, normally the calcium levels in the cells are kept quite low. And so there's about 10,000 times as much calcium outside the cell as inside the cell. And what happens is that those channels open up, and they allow huge amounts of calcium to flow in the cell. And it's the excess of calcium in the cell that causes all kinds of problems. And the biochemistry and physiology of this is well known. And basically, all the effects that we have can be explained through that mechanism. There are also major effects on our brains. The whole nervous system is very, very sensitive to EMFs. So you get large amounts of neurological, neuropsychiatric effects that are extremely well documented. We know they occur in response to many different EMF exposures. And so those are a major problem.
I want to talk a little bit more about some of your other research. Thank you for all those great points, first of all, for bringing that information in. I think some of the audience is new to a lot of this